Here in the Scout Reserve, West Virginia, here is the newest picture from the weather satellite from my station. In 5 minutes I receiving here the live contact from the ISS to the 24 World Scout Jamboree in West Virginia.
Oscar November 4, India Sierra Sierra. I have you loud and but broken. Oscar November 4, India Sierra Sierra. I'm ready for the event. Over. Oscar November 4, India Sierra Sierra. Welcome aboard the ISS. Roger that. I have the first question, and I think that the most important thing that young people should be focusing on scouting is learning to be a good citizen and character development. I think those are critically important to life. Of course, studying hard and doing well in school is very important, but don't underestimate the value of character development and being a good citizen. Well, yes, of course, astronauts love patches as much as scouts. It's one thing that scouts pretty much have in common. We have patches for our missions, and we have patches from our individual astronaut corps, and we definitely trade patches. We enjoy doing that very much. Well, you know, this has it's been my first week on board the ISS, but we had a beautiful pass over North Africa earlier today, and as we speak, I'm looking down from the Russian segment of the International Space Station, and I can see Europe. I'm looking down on France. It's all so beautiful. I couldn't pick just one place. Well, yes, we do bring some personal items. We have a small allotment of things that we can bring. My children gave me a few items, and I've taken things with me that represent parts of my life. And of course, I brought my scout uniform. I'm an adult assistant scout master in my son's Boy Scout troop. I also brought his Eagle Scout badge with me, and I also brought some memorabilia from the World Scout Jamboree that will fly with me, and I will be giving that back and gladly say that this was in space during Expedition 60. Over. Well, you know, we have actually quite a variety of food available to us, and we have vehicles that come and deliver resupply every couple of months, and they can even bring fresh food to us. So our food supply is so good, it's hard to miss anything, but there are definitely some things like pizza and ice cream that are just a little bit too hard for us to sometimes get on board the International Space Station. Over. Well, as you can imagine, we have lots of different communication paths with the Earth, and we like to have multiple ways so that we don't lose communication with the ground, but there are short periods of time often that we can't have the ideal communication or the best clear communications that we want. But believe it or not, this ham radio that I'm talking to you on is one of our contingency or one of our emergency methods of speaking to the ground, because there are so many amateur radio operators all over the world who would be listening to us if we ever needed to communicate through amateur radio. Over. Well, for months, even years before we actually launch and come aboard the International Space Station, we train quite a bit on emergencies and emergency procedures. Then when we arrive on the International Space Station, reviewing emergency procedures and where emergency equipment is located is the first thing we do after we arrive. I've been here 1 week, and in that time we've already had 3 different emergency practices reviewing emergency equipment. It's the most important thing we do when we're on board, is keep those skills sharp. Over. Well, you know, even on Earth, we often don't drink enough water, but in space it's even more important. It's easy for us to dry out, and we really like to drink plenty of water, and we track that so we know exactly how much. We shoot for drinking close to 2.5 liters a day to keep our bodies well hydrated. Well, that's a great question. The short answer is we don't know exactly, but we do know that plants need the direction of gravity to help to know what direction to grow. In fact, we have an experiment that will be ongoing during our expedition called Space Moss, where we're looking exactly at that, not just the direction that the plant grows, but also the direction that the root system grows. And this is an experiment run by the Japanese Space Agency in the Japanese experimental module. Over.
Im Moment is now possible receiving here in Switzerland. Very broken is finished for his dual contact with West Virginia. Good night.
Facility that will look at how cells divide and form tissues in microgravity and